Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Caleb Edelblut, and it's been a beautiful start to our weekend as we get ready for our Saturday and Sunday. A few of us dealt with some toasty conditions, a little bit muggy, but a few of us dealt with quite a few downpours with this warm front moving on through. But thankfully, none of us are dealing with dangerous heat just quite yet. Take a look at our current alerts, at least for us here in North Mississippi. Not talking about heat advisories, but take a look at how they're slowly approaching, getting closer to crossing the Mississippi River and entering the Mississippi Delta. That will become a headline as we get ready for potentially a Saturday afternoon, but definitely into your Sunday, into your Monday, into your Tuesday. That heat will just continue to build. And that's going to take us to our first headline. Dangerous heat making its return. Basically a copy and paste of what we were discussing this past work week for your Monday and Tuesday, how scorching hot they were. That's in store for us again this coming work week. We are going to be talking about those rain chances, how they will continue tomorrow and hopefully start to fade on out by your Sunday as we'll return to those drier but dangerous conditions with that heat. And watch Gabe get dunked. It's going to be a fantastic story coming up here later on live at 5. Very excited to see what all he's covering. Y'all will be in for a treat. But let's start off with the tour all across North Mississippi. We're starting off out here in Ackerman where you guys haven't really gotten that rainfall, which means y'all have had to deal with the heat. 86 degrees feels like 104, 5-mile-per-hour wind coming out of the north. So still, it's nice to see it coming from the north, but you can still tell it's not really helping us feel a little bit cooler. Big thanks to Fastnet for sponsoring that camera down there in Choctaw County. Out here in Crenshaw, 82 degrees, feels like 91, so not as bad out there compared to Ackerman. Dew point right around 77, that wind not really bothering you guys. It's pretty much non-existent, and those partly cloudy skies continue to shine. It looks like the wasps even flying by the camera out there. Out here in Iuka, you guys have dealt with kind of these cloudier and just overcast skies today. 84 degrees, feels like 90. So again, we're feeling warmer than those temperatures outdoors. And again, big thanks to FM Bank for sponsoring this camera. You guys have dealt with some of that rainfall. But again, we'll just continue to feel just warmer and warmer than those temperatures outside. Now, taking a look at the first 12, a few of us still dealing with these showers. Most of these have been very heavy, very just rainfall dominant. We're really not talking about much lightning or any thunder rumbling through North Mississippi. Again, not off the table completely, but flash flooding has been our concern with these heavy amounts of downpours. We're talking about upper 80s by 6 o'clock, cooling off towards the upper 70s by midnight, dealing with those partly cloudy skies into the overnight period. And as we get ready for our Saturday morning, yes, we will deal with a few showers kind of early on throughout the morning hours, kind of what we dealt with earlier today. And then we're talking about those showers starting to pick up closer towards 7, 8, 9 o'clock. And then we'll start talking about a few rumbles of thunder associated with those as well. But still, heavy downpours, that will continue to be the story. And you can definitely tell what I'm talking about that taking a look at our Mama Justice Doppler radar, at least further out west. You can see kind of this green area that's due to an aerial flood advisory or aerial flood watch that was issued earlier on this afternoon, and that will expire Saturday at around 1 o'clock. So they're still expecting heavy amounts of rainfall to make its way in overnight tonight and continuing into the Saturday tomorrow. But for us here in North Mississippi, we're already starting to dry on up. We still have that 10% just because a few of us still dealing with these showers, a little bit more prominent on the state line, but we can back this up. Let's just go the past 12 hours to take a look at the rainfall. Some of those early morning showers, but becoming very heavy, kind of in that training motion further up north. And we can see a few lightning strikes. But again, those continue to diminish as we're still just talking about showers, really not talking about anything severe or intense. And thankfully that will continue into your Saturday and your Sunday. But some much needed rainfall, a little bit too heavy at times, that could cause some flash flooding concerns for some flood prone areas. Now, taking a look at your surface analysis, one of the reasons we're dealing with this rainfall is due to this warm front continuing to lift further and further north. And unfortunately, well, on the fortunate side, it's bringing us that much needed rainfall. But on the back end, where it's bringing in that southerly motion, kind of bringing in all that moisture from the Gulf, and that's what's going to return that Mississippi mugginess pretty much in full force as we get ready for the rest of the weekend, especially heading into the next work week. And we can see that high pressure system too, that's continuing to spin clockwise, and we can even draw this out for you guys. We'll do blue to match the pressure system out there. With it spinning clockwise, what it's doing is it's bringing in all that moisture, all that wind from the Gulf. And so those muggy, humid conditions that you experience all the time on the beach, well, it's going to make its way further and further inland for us here in North Mississippi. and we're going to continue to just feel downright sticky as we go about the start of the work week coming on up. Now, let's take a look at Futurecast as we get ready for the weekend. That's a little bit more important. We've worked hard to get here throughout the work week so far. This warm front is going to continue to drift further and further north. We're returning to those mostly dry conditions already by the 9 and 10 o'clock broadcasts later on tonight. Still can't quite escape them completely as we're dealing with a few showers. But as we head into the early morning hours, take a look at how heavy it continues to get just out west across the Mississippi River for Arkansas, why that aerial flood watch has been issued with some heavy amounts of precip still making its way towards those communities, and it'll eventually make its way closer and closer towards North Mississippi. But latest model runs continue to diminish the overall intensity. We're not quite seeing the same level as we were earlier today, so hoping to follow that same trend could hopefully talk about rain chances diminishing for your Saturday, but still not going to be able to escape them completely. Let's take a look at your next 24. We're starting off in the mid-70s, go figure. It's kind of how all mornings have started this work week. Low 80s already by 9, upper 80s by 12. Many of us reaching back into the low to mid-90s, especially for those that don't get rainfall. And again, rain and just heavy downpours will be the main threat. A few rumbles of thunder still embedded, kind of what we've seen today, but as you could tell, we were dealing with a lot more rainfall than just constant flashes of lightning or rumbles of thunder. But we're going to dry on up pretty quickly into the afternoon, evening hours, and almost returning to completely dry by tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock, and already cooling off towards the low 90s, getting ready for our Sunday. So it's not going to be a washout all day for everybody, but we're going to make sure you guys know what to expect for those rain chances as you get ready for your Saturday, heading into your Sunday, and that dangerous heat approaching into the next work week. But coming up first in the next minute, well, we're going to see Gabe get dunked and what all that means and everything else he has to cover for your local news here in North Mississippi coming up in the next minute.
Every legend starts somewhere.
Not with perfection, but with the decision.
The decision to show up, work harder, and believe this place can change everything.
At Northeast, you're more than just a number.
We're built on opportunity, and our students are willing to rise to the occasion.
Here, success isn't handed to you, it's earned.
You don't just leave with a degree, you leave as a legend.
Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi presents Dance Like the Stars 2026, Saturday, August 8th at the Huntington Bank Arena. Floor seating is $50 and general admission seating is $20. All proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi. For more information, visit bgcnms.org.
Welcome to the next generation of local news, Mississippi Live. Where you are, when you want it, we're focused on you because local matters. We are Mississippi Live.
Good evening, everybody, and happy Friday. I'm Gabe Maynor here for Mississippi Live News. With a positive story out of Aberdeen. A nurse who spent 34 years caring for residents at the Care Center of Aberdeen is being recognized on a regional stage. Eloise Vance was just named Nurse of the Year, not just for her, but for 160 Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana. Director of Kunaman, if you look up nurse in the books, that's who you'd see. Vance, a Prairie native, started as a certified nurse assistant before attending nursing school at Itawamba Community College, and she has spent her entire career at the Care Center of Aberdeen. Vance says that she makes sure that patients get what they're supposed to get and that they're always taken care of the way that they're supposed to be. Congratulations, Nurse Vance, on this amazing accomplishment. Look up for some fireworks in the Mississippi skies over the next couple of weeks. I know 4th of July is over. We're looking at some different types of fireworks. A glance upward could reward you with a falling star, especially early in the mornings just before daylight. It is time for the Perseid meteor showers again, and this could be a good year as long as the weather cooperates, so make sure to contact your local weatherman. These showers start now and continue through August 24th. The meteors are dust particles left behind by a comet. While the show has started, the peak time will be in a couple of weeks, when it's possible to see as many as 100 in an hour. Got any last-second summer plans? Maybe some summer trips? Well, a big jump in gas prices as we move into the weekend may put a little bit of a halt on those plans. AAA reports the cost of gasoline in Mississippi is now $3.66 a gallon. That's a 14-cent increase over last Friday. The average price nationwide for a gallon is now over $4. In California, hey, it could be worse. It's over $5 for a gallon of gas. The Mississippi Department of Transportation says there is a silver lining to the high gasoline prices. They say higher gas prices means the state collects more on gas taxes, which helps pay for road maintenance and bridge repairs. Now, we had an exciting afternoon here in North Mississippi. Let's make a splash, and today we did. Baptist Memorial Hospital in Boonville held a dunk tank fundraiser to raise money for the Angel Tree. And I put my body on the line. It was such a fun time. The community really showed up and showed out. Here you see crews coming out to the event. Annalise made it there. Meteorologist Caleb Edelblut and his family made it out too. So really an exciting time. Between the throws, the fast passes, and the donations, it was a blast getting dunked. Can't believe I'm saying that. Every dollar raised went straight to the Angel Tree, so thank you to everyone who came out, threw a ball, or donated. Also, shout out to Bubba's Bistro and Life of a Lemon, who were also there offering refreshments. We couldn't have asked for a better turnout, and now, for what everyone wants to see, let the dunking commence. It was such a fun time out there, and as you can see, cleaned up before the shows. Thank you so much for joining us for Mississippi Live News. I'm Gabe Maynor. Keep it here for the very latest.
Hi, I'm Mississippi Live Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Reserve your St. Jude Dream Home giveaway ticket by July 31st, and you'll be eligible to win the house and the early bird prize, a $10,000 gift card to Brooks Grocery. Visit dreamhome.org to reserve your ticket for $100 and help St. Jude Children's Research Hospital continue its life-saving work. Then watch Mississippi Live on October 29th to see who wins the house and the other prizes. Reserve your ticket today.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete. But it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, it was certainly a pleasure dunking Gabe, and it was just a grand old time out there. So hopefully you guys can tune in and make your way out there next year. It'll be another fun one. But let's take a look at our evening planner. We're starting off in the low 80s by 7 o'clock. A few of us dealing with some of these rain showers. Most of us dealing with these mostly cloudy, kind of overcast conditions. We're going to continue pretty much the same thing overnight as we dry on up and slowly make our way down towards the upper 70s by 1 o'clock later on tonight. Now, take a look at your heat and seas all across North Mississippi. You can definitely tell who has received the rain and who has not. And this is exactly why it's important and why we're always focusing on those rain chances, because it'll make us feel a lot better outdoors. 81 in Red Bay, 87 in New Albany, but 79 Oxford and Holly Springs, 85 South Haven. Not too bad for you guys in the northern half or kind of northern third of our viewing area that have seen these downpours, but 104 in Cleveland, Greenville, Belzona, 100 in Louisville, 103 in Macon, triple digits everywhere else, as you guys have just enjoyed these drier conditions wrapping up the work week and heading into the weekend. Now let's take a look at the rest of your Friday as we get ready for your Saturday. We continue to see this warm front providing that necessary lift for some of these showers to occur, and as it continues moving through North Mississippi, I always pull this off, that way you guys can see what's happening underneath. We're still talking about mostly dry conditions returning fairly quickly. By 10 o'clock, we can deal with maybe a stray shower or two kind of along Highway 45, a little bit heavier out there just north of Macon and Knoxville County. That's around 10. But as we get closer towards midnight and on, we're pretty much staying dry until we can get some of those overnight sprinkles and showers to continue making its way closer and closer towards North Mississippi. Now by 6 o'clock, we're not dealing with widespread coverage, a little bit heavier shower out there just northwest of Clarksdale along the Mississippi River, and very heavy for you guys out there in Arkansas where those aerial flood watches have been issued. Thankfully, not a concern for us here in North Mississippi, at least not just yet. We're hoping to keep it that way. Now, take a look at your low temperatures for your Saturday. We're cooling off towards pretty much low 70s again for the northwest or northeast you go, but mid 70s elsewhere, mid to upper 70s for you guys along the Mississippi River. So could be a little bit muggier and warmer start to the day, depending on where you are here in our viewing area. Now, coming back to Futurecast, we continue to see that warm front just lift further and further north before making its way back as a stationary front. This is starting off around 6 o'clock, already transitioning back to that stationary front and kind of moving on out of North Mississippi. And we're dealing with these isolated chances of rainfall by 12:30. Again, we're really not talking about anything intense or impactful as far as severe weather-wise, but we're still dealing with some heavy downpours, kind of like what we saw earlier today. But for those that didn't see them, well, you don't really know what we're talking about. You had to deal with that heat. So similar story for us as we go about our day. Tomorrow, we're already kind of starting to clear on up and dry up by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And that's going to continue into the evening with more activity further out east for you guys out there in Alabama. We saw earlier activity out there in Arkansas towards the start of the morning. Here in North Mississippi, I think we have the perfect balance. We're still getting some showers, but also enjoying some dry conditions and not talking about that dangerous heat just quite yet. Take a look at those high temperatures for your Saturday. Upper 80s again for the most northeastern portion. Low 90s throughout the rest of our viewing area. 89 out there in Oxford, but mid 90s pretty much for the southern portions of the Delta. 94 Greenwood, Belzona, 96 out there in Greenville. And those heat and seas, how it's really going to feel outdoors. That's what you guys want to know a lot, because that's honestly a little bit more important as we get ready for our day and any outdoor plans. Triple digits across most of the southern portions of our viewing area. 102 out there in Starkville, 104 in Columbus, about 107 Greenville, 106 Cleveland, and Clarksdale, 103 Tunica. Could start talking about those heat advisories creeping their way into our viewing area for your Saturday afternoon. Thankfully, not the case at this moment. We'll keep you updated throughout the rest of our broadcast throughout the day ahead. And of course, keep you updated throughout our broadcast tomorrow evening. Now, it's still going to be a fantastic day to spend your day out at the pool, especially because you've made it to the weekend, so you get to enjoy some time outdoors. We're dealing with some of these showers, but again, not all day long. It's not going to be a washout all throughout your Saturday. Upper 70s by 8 o'clock, upper 80s by noon, low to mid 90s, depending on where you are here in our viewing area for your afternoon tomorrow. And that UV, a little bit extreme for the most northern portions of our viewing area, kind of dipping down further on south and for Atala and Winston County. Definitely going to want to keep that sunscreen handy, or if you're like me, you'll burn pretty easily out there. Now, coming back to Futurecast, we're still dealing with some of these showers by 6 o'clock, but again, not dealing with anything really stormy as we go about our Saturday evening, but they don't last for long. That stationary front continues to just stay stationary here in North Mississippi. Can't quite decide whether or not it wants to leave. And we're still seeing that southerly motion build up here in North Mississippi, bringing that mugginess back and making us feel just very warm as we go about the next few days ahead. And overnight, we're still dealing with some of those showers continuing to move through North Mississippi. They're kind of moving from the north towards the south, so could wake up with a few as we're getting ready for our Sunday morning commute, or our church commute as we get ready for the day. And as we get out of church, we're enjoying drier conditions by lunchtime with clearer skies, so enjoying those mostly sunny skies for your Sunday. And thankfully, that can continue throughout most of our day. So we're still technically talking about those rain chances early on in the morning. We still deal with them, but throughout the rest of the day, we're enjoying drier skies and a beautiful, mostly sunny afternoon and evening. That's continuing by 6 o'clock, still maybe a few showers out there. That stationary front transitioning more towards a cold front. Again, not really bringing anything cold here to North Mississippi. We're going to continue to warm up, but we're enjoying that drier air just a little bit, but still seeing that wind come out of the west, kind of southwest, fueling that Mississippi mugginess. Well, we'll definitely start to feel it in your Sunday and heading into your Monday. Take a look at those high temperatures, exactly where I was pointing out. 95 in Cleveland, 99 in Greenville, almost pushing triple digits just at the air temperature. 97 in Belzona and 96 Greenwood, but mid-90s starting to make their way back into the viewing area and feels like values. We're definitely going to be talking about some heat advisories making their way back in for you guys out there in the Delta, 110 in Clarksdale. That could be extreme heat warning criteria for your Sunday. So it's not long until we're going to talk about that dangerous heat quickly making its way back into North Mississippi. So enjoy your Friday, enjoy your Saturday, at least most of us can, but that extreme heat, it'll definitely make its way back coming up here in the next few days. So let's take a look at your weekend forecast. We're starting off cool, dealing with some of those rainy conditions, a little bit more relevant for your Saturday, warming up towards the mid-90s. Rainy start, drier end, and of course, we'll talk about that heat heading into your Monday and Tuesday. And this is exactly what I mean. Take a look at your 7-day forecast. We're talking about those rain chances, a little bit more prominent on your Saturday. Could hear a few rumbles of thunder as we're starting off the day. We're warming up towards the mid-90s as those rain chances begin to diminish, pretty much completely falling off for your Monday into your Tuesday as we're warming up towards the upper 90s. That's air temperature, not how we're really feeling. We're reaching triple digits and honestly 105 or greater very easily. And that's going to continue all throughout the work week until we start talking about those rain chances finally making their way back into the forecast for your Thursday and heading into your Friday. And honestly, potentially heading into your next Saturday as well, as we could get ready for another soggy weekend here in North Mississippi. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in to Mississippi Live at 5. If you haven't done so already, make sure to download the Mississippi Live weather app. It's a useful tool in your pocket, letting you know when rain is approaching, when lightning has struck, and it'll send you notifications every time we go live or update the blog, give you those fast casts. So we'll make sure to keep you guys updated with the very best and most updated information here in North Mississippi. We'll be live later on tonight at 6 o'clock to give you the latest on those rain chances as you get ready for your Saturday and continue to finalize those plans that I hope many of us have outdoors to enjoy the beautiful conditions, especially before that heat arrives. And of course, we'll be live later on tonight at 9 and 10. But until then, y'all continue to enjoy y'all's Friday. It has been well deserved. Y'all have worked hard to make it this far in the work week, and we have a beautiful weekend to go. So until then, y'all continue to enjoy y'all's evening, and we'll see y'all here later for Mississippi Live.